Hi everyone, we are here with Satish. On June 26th, he scored a 740 and his verbal score is phenomenal, 44. And he's had quite a journey. He has actually experienced the course and the test series from 4 or 5 different places. And I'd like him to really take you through exactly what the journey was like. Okay, so let's see exactly where the course top 1% helped him. So Satish, do take us through the various courses and the test series that you went through and what is it that probably did not work out there and what differentiates a course from those because verbal 44 is a phenomenally high score 98 percentile. Probably you'd been struggling with the overall preparation for some time, so just take me through what difference did it make. Yeah.
Sure. So, if I have to tell what differentiates your course with,
Hmm.
I have tried various courses like Veritas, Mangush, and EGMAT. So, what differentiate your course from them is the connect which you have to the Indian audience. I would
Hmm.
say there are those courses they throw the grammatical rules at the peer
Hmm.
persons who are attending it. There are some things with GMAT test. I won't say something, but if you have to score a V40 plus, there are a lot
Hmm.
of things that GMAT
Hmm.
test that won't come naturally to a non-native user like us.
Right, right.
And that is something which I got a lot of info about from your course because while working with you through those difficult
Hmm.
questions, you explained some concepts that wasn't there in
Hmm.
their courses. And
Right, right.
so that is what differentiate your course. Plus, in RC, the awareness sessions that you took,
Hmm. Hmm.
that is something which differentiated a lot for me in RC because it helped me gain the
Hmm.
idea of the bigger picture. And
Right, right.
once you have the idea of the bigger picture, you know why that RC has been put forth, and you automatically get an interest to read the RC that you have in the exam. And
Right, right.
when you comprehend better with that idea.
Right, great, great answer. So you said you tried Magoosh and Veritas and EGMAT and two test
Correct.
series also probably Manhattan test series
Yes.
and Veritas test series.
Correct.
So how much time will a student who goes through this course exclusively and puts in some serious time every day consistently, how much time do you think is good enough to score, let's say 740 like yours?
So I think if you are dedicating
Hmm.
3 hours or 4 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
and you are dedicated for continuously 2 months, that is more than enough. For 2 months, I dedicated 2 3 hours, sometimes even 4 hours on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one special thing which I did is to every night I dedicated 2 hours to the Know the World session which you shared, and that
Oh,
is
that's great.
something that
Mhm.
keeps me motivated. That is
Right, right.
something that helps me go next day and practice with full dedication. So this is
That's
what I
really
will say.
that's really fabulous to know, Satish.
I
Mm-hmm.
somewhat neglected quant. When you start with quant, it takes some time for you to
Mm-hmm.
settle in that exam environment. Because I
Mm-hmm.
started directly on quant, I jumped directly on quant. I think some questions, it took me some time to get in that
So
pace.
there was
And
nothing unusual, but it is just the exam anxiety, maybe, or the kick in, like the let's say 4 or 5 questions it takes you to get warmed probably to the exam
correct,
scenario.
correct.
So, okay, take us through both the exam section experiences in terms of question type and let's say in verbal also. Did you face something unusual? Was your pacing all right and just everything?
So for quant, I think when I started, as I said, in the beginning, it was very
Mm,
okay, like
mm,
of easy questions, and you can sail through it. But once you cross the 15 question mark,
mm,
that is when it started throwing
mm,
probability, geometry, and this kind
mm,
of. And geometry is something which I will say I am weak in,
mm,
and that is why I saw 2 3 geometry questions that took me two
mm,
and more than 2 minutes,
mm, mm.
and that is where I think it like
Yes.
disrupted the game for me. Correct.
Did it disrupt your pacing as well? Probably to some extent.
It did because towards the end I had to rush because I like spent 3 minutes around in those questions just figuring out
Okay,
the
understand.
structure. So there was two questions where I wasted some time and it disrupted, I would say. But for verbal was very easy for me.
Hmm.
Personally for me,
It
verbal
wasn't
I
initially, right? Verbal must have been a tough section for you.
Yes, so I can recollect how my first attempt was. My mind used to completely go blank on SC questions
Mm-hmm.
actually in the exam. But this time I was able to get a hold of everything and I was confident about everything. And verbal section was like a cakewalk for me and even the RCs and CRs, nothing was, I would say, challenging. I saw some questions that were up to the level which I practiced in your course, but yeah, everything else was pretty much easy and smooth.
Please take me through the preparation part in each of the areas, the way you would have prepared.
So I will start with verbal, and let's start with SC. So for SC, what I did is exactly did the same thing which you advised. So I watched your videos, and in a copy, I used to pause the videos and I used to write A, B, C, D, E, and write the reasons why I'm eliminating that answer, whichever I am eliminating.
Right.
And that is something which really helped me get to understand the errors which GMAT actually tests. And that I would say, even while watching the video, you used to point out 2, 3 extra errors. So I used to write that as well and understand. So that is how I grew in SC. In RC, I would say the document you shared, I guess 700, 800 RC
Right.
questions,
Right.
and that had around more than enough RC. I practiced it all using the Octave.
Right.
Octave is, I think, something which is a dedicate means it is 100% guaranteed tool in RC. If you know how to follow Octave, there is no way you can like go wrong in RC question. So that is how I practiced with Octave, and that I boosted my accuracy to more than 90%. When I started, it was 50, 60%, but when I ended, it was more than 90%.
Right.
For CR, I remember this tip from you that start with assumption questions, right? Because assumption questions can help you both in positive and negative questions, as well as some kind of RC questions as well.
Right.
So that is what I did. I directly attacked on assumption question, the PDF that your course content has. Those assumption questions I started with, and then I moved forward, completed those assumption question, and then I went to the different sections like for positive, negative, means strengthen and weaken, and then I went to the bold face questions.
Right.
So
So
that
you
is
just followed the strategy this time. You did not
correct.
distract your mind because you'd probably studied all this with different companies. So I think this is really heartening to know that this worked out for you. And to keep your motivation alive, as you said, you did the Know the World videos.
Correct.
Did you attend some of the seminars that I used to do just to,
Yes.
keep? So you did, I guess.
Yes. So when I registered for all the seminars, those seminars is a big motivation booster. And also it's a way to keep your knowledge updated on how the GMAT pattern is. So that is the reason I kept attending on those seminars, and I just
A
registered for
couple of,
everything I got.
yeah, great to hear. And lastly, a couple of tips for other people.
So first thing which I remember from your stories while solving RCs, you said that you used to lock up your phone in the car. So that is something which I remember. And what I did was, it was my version of locking my phone. I installed the apps which lock your phone for some time, and you can only use it for call or messaging. So that is how I initially started getting ahead of my phone's distraction. And after a couple of weeks, it just becomes natural. Even if your phone blinks, you don't get distracted while studying. So that is what one tip I would say. Work on your distractions. You can close your notification. You can disallow notifications from apps you don't need. And that is how this is something which majority of students suffer. So that is what I will suggest. Second thing is think about it, plan it. Means why you need a GMAT is something which is very important if you want to conquer it, if you want to be motivated
Like
throughout.
keep the bigger picture in mind that this is going to give me a great career, great life, probably.
Yes.
So that is what, yeah, I think people forget
And
in the nitty-gritty of preparation.
and as a one thing which I learned from you while thinking about the picture, don't settle for average. Don't settle for a 700 score or 680 or 720 score and a normal college, because you will get a chance to settle for that throughout your journey. Right.
Wow, that's really
And
well said.
that
Yes.
is something you shouldn't, because you should be confident on what you want to achieve in life. This is something which you need to figure out before starting your preparation.
All right. Any other tips that you would probably like to tell people who are preparing or will start preparing? Please tell.
I have just one tip. If you have any doubt or if you are struggling, you have the expert to ask to. I have seen the change in myself. I have seen how it works once you start following it. So you have the greatest expert here.
Thank you, Satish. And it's really wonderful. I hope you're applying to schools now with this score. And
Yes,
really, let's hope you make it. Thanks for
correct.
your time then. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Right.